And now, without any further ado, putting on the Ritz is indeed proud to present Gilbert and Sullivan's The Mikado.
At school, we were taught to always use the finest English.
And I was taught to shoot the finest turkey.
Now, you got 1 minute to tell us how you got here, what you want, and if you can get us out of here.
Well, I rode the coach to the end of the line. I bought a mule, and I roughed it the rest of the way.
No one's ever made it across the desert, and no one's ever made it out, neither.
Well, I was cautioned that no town still existed out here.
Oh, see, they don't know we's alive.
They gave me water and gin. By my calculation, it should have been a 3-hour tour.
A 3-hour tour.
But the weather started
getting rough.
My tiny mule was
tossed.
I got my courage from that bottle of rum, and my mule Minnow is
lost.
I was swept up in a funnel of wind. I lost consciousness, and I woke up here.
Well, then, I guess you're stuck here. There's no way out.
You'll have to earn your keep. What's your name, son?
Henry, and you are?
And you still haven't told us why you're here.
Easy enough. I'm here to find true love.
My Carmen, your Prince Carmen has arrived.
You think you can find true love here? Well, I was orphaned as a baby and raised by a wealthy nanny back east. She sent me to the finest schools. On her deathbed, she gave me this map and said, "The sweetest maid is your destiny." I'm sure that she meant that in Japan I'd find my bride.
Well, we got a wide selection of brides.
So you got a lot of money, do you?
After graduation, I took my inheritance and the map and I started my quest. The money ran out weeks ago. My clothes have been wearing thin and I've been very hungry. But I was the finest music student in my class and have been able to trade some of my compositions for food, shelter, and money.
You crossed the country selling songs?
I did. A wandering minstrel I, that's how I make my living, with songs and ballads giving, and dreamy lullaby. My catalog is long, through every passion raging, and to your humor changing, I tune my supple song, I tune my supple song. Are you in sentimental mood? I'll sigh with you. Oh, sorrow. On maiden's coldness do you brood? I'll do so too. Oh, sorrow, sorrow. I'll charm your willing ears with songs of lovers' fears, while sympathetic tears my cheeks bedew. Oh, sorrow, sorrow. A wandering minstrel I, that's how I make my living, with songs and ballads giving, and dreamy lullaby, and dreamy lullaby, lullaby. Well, now that I've told you my story, I'd like to know all about you and this town.
It's a sad story, to be sure.
As the gold rush days were coming to an end, Japan became increasingly isolated.
The stagecoaches stopped coming.
The Pony Express stopped coming.
Then, one night while we slept, our former sheriff and his family stole all our horses and crossed the desert.
When we awoke, we found ourselves completely cut off from civilization, because no one can cross the desert on foot.
Well, my brother Darrell tried.
That's right, our other brother Darrell tried, but
But a few days later, the vultures brought back what was left of his clothes. Oh, poor Darrell!
Our town became a perfect oasis, protected by the mountains and watered by the pond at its base.
Oh, come on now, buck up, fellas. We've learned to lack our brand of paradise.
How long have you been cut off?
18 years, 3 months, and 21 days.
So there is no sheriff.
As the first weeks passed, there was turmoil in the town. No sheriff, no laws. Now, as a warning not to follow him, Sheriff Dodge left a massive sword lodged in stone in the center of the town, which no one could remove. Then, one night on his way back from the saloon, the orneriest of the Mikado family came upon the sword. In a drunken stupor, he tried to remove it. He pulled and tugged with all of his might, but the sword wouldn't budge. Then, he saw naughty Nellie watching his struggle. She promised him she would have a roll in the hay with Mickey if he could remove the sword. Well, Mickey had always been kind of sweet on Nellie, so with Herculean strength, he pulled on that sword as hard as he could until it moved in his hand. Then, with one final tug, he removed the sword and raised it to the sky. All around, he could hear the townspeople crying, "Long live the new sheriff! Long live Mikado! Long live the Mikado!" Now, since he didn't want to share his Nellie with anybody else, he quickly devised a plan to keep the men of the town in line. Mikado passed his first and deadliest new law. No man could flirt with Nellie or with any other girl. If he did, he would be beheaded.
My God, by who?
The executioner, of course.
And how does one get to be the executioner?
By an odd turn of fate. Our great Mikado, crafty man, when he to rule our town began, decided on a plan which said that men should all be married. So he declared before we blinked that all who flirted, leered, or winked, unless by matrimony linked, should swiftly be beheaded, 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 should swiftly be beheaded. And I suspect you'll all agree to flirt would cost the highest fee. And I'm right, you are right, and all is right as right can be.
And you are right, and we are right, and all is right as right can be.
And all is right as right can be, right as right can be.
This stern decree, you'll understand, caused great concern throughout the land. For young and old and shy and bold were equally affected. The youth who winked on roving eye, or breathed an unmatrimonial sigh, would always be condemned to die. He usually objected. He usually objected. And you'll agree, yes, I suspect, that he was right and should object. For I am right and you are right and everything is quite correct.
And you are right, and we are right, and everything is quite correct. And everything is quite correct.
All is quite correct. And so we both let out on bail
A convict from the county jail,
who was the first to break the law, his head first to be mown off, and made him executioner.
for we said,
Who's next to be decapitated cannot cut off another's head until he's cut his own off, his own off, his own off, until he's cut his own off. And we are right, I think you'll say, to argue in this kind of way.
and I am right and you are right,
And all is right, yippee-yi-yay.
And you are right, and we are right, and all is right. Yippee-yi-yay.
And you are right, and we are right, and all is right.
So a convict turned into an executioner. Did the sheriff approve that?
Well, he not only approved it, he thought it was a hoot. He always thought the judges were as crooked as a common criminal.
And since a criminal now held the office of executioner, Mikado combined it with the role of judge.
He thought it was real funny to have a judge be his own executioner.
So before the judge could sentence anyone else to die, he had to kill himself first?
Now you're getting the idea.
The other town officers quit when they heard.
Oh, and I was kind enough to assume their duties.
Oh, and of course their salaries. We calls him Poor Bob.
Well, I make it a point to never turn down money. So as a result, I'm now the town treasurer, the chief justice, commander-in-chief, master of the bloodhounds, and priest.
Wait a minute. You can't just become a priest on the spot.
Well, why not? He insists on large donations, but he makes us feel real good about our sins.
Well, then as priest, you would be the one to perform the ceremony when I find my bride.
Absolutely.
He'll even play the piano and cater the reception, too.
But who will I marry? Who is the sweetest maid in all Japan?
Well, you better steer clear of Kittishaw.
Kittyshaw's got claim on the next eligible man that could get to town, if any could get here.
What do you mean by claim?
Well, when Sheriff Dodge deserted us, Kitty Shaw was only 18 and engaged to his son. Now, she was quite a tomboy herself, and when the sound of the horses woke her, she knew her forthcoming wedding would never happen. So she grabbed her shotgun and started firing.
Legend has it she shot the sheriff.
But she did not shoot the deputy.
Right.
Well, we'll never know for sure, but for her bravery, the new sheriff promised her that the next young man that comes to Japan would be hers. She's been on the lookout ever since.
Thanks for the warning. I'll keep an eye out for her. But who will I marry? Who is the sweetest maid in Japan? I know she's meant for me.
The sweetest maid?
Well, our executioner's got his eye on the teacher.
Yeah.
Yes, the sweetest. Who is the sweetest?
They told you, mister. Yum, yum.
Would you please stop saying that and tell me who is the sweetest maid?
Bertha May Brent.
Now, that doesn't sound like the sweetest maid.
Well, Bertha was always kind of sweet, so we started calling her Yum Yum. I guess it kind of stuck.
Yum yum.
Yum yum.
But our executioner's got his claim on her.
When none of us want to risk our necks to challenge that claim.
So I've come all this way for nothing? No, I'll bring down this tyrant and win my bride.
Now, you listen here, boy, and listen good. Young man, beware, now here's a clue. Yum Yum, the fair you cannot woo. It will not do, I'm sorry for you. You very young evolutioner. This very day from school, Yum Yum will find her way. And last man come with me to drum. She will succumb, she will wed the executioner. And the brass will crash and the trumpets bray. He'll wax his mustache on their wedding day. She'll marry that way, her mind a blur. She will wed the executioner.
And the brass will crash and the trumpets bray. He'll wax his mustache on their wedding day. He'll marry that way, her mind a blur. To wed the executioner.
It's a hopeless case, as you may see, and to your place away I flee. But don't blame me, I'm sorry to be to your dreams a dissolutioner. They'll pledge the vows extremely soon. Get back tomorrow afternoon. Our honeymoon with that buffoon commences unless you wonder. And the brass will crash and the trumpets bray. He'll wax his mustache on their wedding day. She'll marry that way, her mind a blur. She will wed the executioner.
And the brass will crash and the trumpets bray. He'll wax his mustache on their wedding day. She'll marry that way, her mind a blur.
She'll wed the executioner.
Yum Yum was meant to be my bride, my destiny. I must find a way to stop this wedding.
You better hurry. Here comes Zero now.
Zero?
My God, man, never let him hear you call him Zero. Zero is the executioner.
He claims to have been a famous bullfighter.
He don't fight the bull, he shoots the...
And the executioner gets to choose his own method of service.
He likes to keep his sword hidden but ready for action.
And you live in fear of this man?
Well, he's a fool, but we value our heads.
Here comes Zero, the executioner, a person with a powerful rank and title, such a misguided, pompous officer, whose functions are unfortunately vital. Save her from Zero the executioner. Oh, Zero, our holy Lord with the big sharp sword. Zero the executioner.
Taken from the county jail, told there'd be no second chances. Liberated then on bail, fortunes high on my finances. Upward I began to sail, as one sometimes does in trances, to a height that you can scale. Fame and fortune, big advances, surely never had a male. Under such like circumstances, so adventurous a tale, it may rank with most romances. Taken from the county jail, a set of joyous liberated then on bail. Never had a male so adventurous a tale. Sing low, from Zero the executioner. Zero, our holy Lord with the big sharp sword, the executioner. Bow down, Zero.
here.
Watch it, mister, or I will move you to the top of the list. Should anything happen to old number 1.
If someday it may happen, another victim must be found. I've got a little list of obvious offenders who might well be underground and who never would be missed. Now the pesky little nuisances who beg for autographs of people who have flabby hands and irritating laughs, and people who are quick with facts and floor you with them flat, and people who in shaking hands shake hands with you like that. All people set on spoiling the chance that I'll be kissed. So none of them be missed. No, none of them be missed.
He's got them on the list. He's got them on the list. And they'll none of them be missed. They'll none of them be missed.
There's the banjo serenader singing from his hiding place, and the lazy organist, I got him on the list, and the people who eat peppermint and puppet in your face, they never would be missed. Then the idiot who praises with enthusiastic tone all centuries but this, and every country but his own. And tut, and what's his name, and also you know who. The task of filling in the blanks I'd never leave to you. But it really doesn't matter whom you put up on the list, for none of them be missed. No, none of them be missed.
You may put them on the list. You may put them on the list. And they'll none of them be missed. They'll none of them be missed.
I am the luckiest man in Japan. I am paid extremely well not to perform my job. And I am married, the sweetest girl in town. Now, to the saloon to celebrate my final day as a bachelor. And the drinks, they're on the house.
Save her from Zeroni execution. Our woe, Zero, our holy Lord with the big sharp sword. Zero, the executioner.
About between the school teachers and the barmaids. This will be a singing contest since y'all made such a mess of the mud wrestling. First up will be our very own barmaids, Aga, Inga, and Bridget.
Each a little bit excited.
you about tomorrow's ceremony.
Oh, yes, everything is ready. You won't be disappointed.
I am sure to be first rate. But I was wondering, isn't there a way we can charge the expenses to Japan?
Well, as treasurer, I know the town could afford it. But as Chief Justice, I'd have to call that illegal.
Treasurer, come over here where the Chief Justice can't hear us. Now, is there enough to pay for the honeymoon tab as well?
Oh, of course, and as your private secretary, I've made the most lavish arrangements. But as your priest, I'd have to oppose it on moral grounds.
Of course. Come over here where the priest can't hear. Now, as judge, can't you introduce a secret law to cover the expenses?
Well, of course I could, but when the Chief Justice finds out, I'll have to, as police commissioner, arrest myself.
That would be extremely awkward.
Now, I think all these people could be taken care of, but I'm sure it might come at quite a cost.
Would that cost be less than the honeymoon and the reception?
Absolutely. Consider it done.
All right. Next up will be the school teachers. Ladies and gents, Patty C, Bo Peep, and Zara's bride-to-be, Yum Yum.
Three little maids from school are we, brought as a schoolgirl as can be, filled to the brim with girlish glee. Three little maids from school, everything is a source of fun. Nobody's safe, but we care for none. Life is a joke that's just begun. Three little maids from school. Three little maids who all unmarried, come from the ladies' seminary. Three from a genius to Larry. Three little maids from school. Three little maids from school. One little maid is a bright young young. Two little maids with attendance gone. Three little maids in a total song. Three little maids from school. From three little maids take one away. Two little maids remain and they sent away. Three little maids say. Three little maids from school.
Three little maids from school.
Three little maids who all unmarried, come from a ladies' seminary. Three from a genius to Larry. Three little maids from school. Three little maids from school.
Come and kiss me, my bride-to-be.
Oh, you're not going to kiss me in front of all these people.
That was the idea.
Seems rather odd, doesn't it? It's rather peculiar. Oh, it's all right. There must be a beginning, you know. Well, you know I know nothing about these things, but I won't object if it's traditional.
Oh, it's quite traditional. Isn't it, Mr. Wedding Planner?
Oh, yeah, I've seen it many times.
Oh, thank goodness that's over. What am I going to do? I can't live my life with that man. I'm afraid if you turn him down, you won't live at all. There must be a way out. A stranger! Oh, now tell us everything. I'm so glad about that. You won't see us from Japan. You see, I was the teacher and I've left the school for good, and I just can't marry Zero.
I don't think Sarah would be happy to see his bride socializing with a young man.
Oh, I wasn't socializing. We were just trying to get
Henry.
Henry to vote for us. That's right, and we had him convinced, didn't we?
Yes, I'd certainly vote for...
Yum Yum.
Yum Yum?
Yum Yum.
Yum Yum without question.
How you might stay clear of her when Sarah's around, and don't do anything that would even remotely be flirt.
Yum Yum, I have traveled across the country to find you, my true love, my destiny. But I find that you are to be married tomorrow at noon.
Yes, I am.
Then you do not love him?
Oh, no, I don't.
Thank you.
Then why don't you refuse him?
What good would that do? He's claimed me, and he wouldn't let me marry you.
Because you are so young? But I would wait until you were of age.
Mikado made a law that in Japan, girls do not arrive at years of discretion until they are 50.
And from 17 to 49 are considered years of indiscretion?
Yes, says the English teacher.
Well, that's too bad, says the wandering minstrel.
A minstrel? You'd have me marry a musician?
I'm not a musician. I'm a tenor, and everyone knows tenors aren't really musicians.
Still, you'd better not be too close. The law against flirting is severe.
But no one around is watching us.
All right, all right. How many of you cowboys vote for the school teachers? And how many for the Barbie? Barbie twins!
Still, that doesn't make it right. To flirt is to invite capital punishment.
Well, it is capital.
And we must obey the law.
If not for that law, how happy we might be.
Happy indeed.
Why, if it weren't for that law, we could be standing side by side like this.
Instead of being forced to stand half a mile off.
We could be gazing into each other's eyes like this.
Breathing sighs of unutterable love. Oh, like that.
We could be standing with our arms around each other's waists like that.
Yes. If it weren't for the law.
Not for that law.
As it is, of course, we couldn't do anything of the kind.
Never.
Being engaged to Zero, you know.
Being engaged to Zero. Were you not promised to another? I would say in tender tone, we could learn to love each other. We could be each other's own. I would sing an affirmation. None could break the bond between us. And to show my adoration, I would kiss you fondly thus. I would kiss you fondly thus.
But as I'm engaged, as you know, we cannot profess our love, so Zero shall say what's up, will he be sure to make your blood flow, blood flow, blood flow, blood flow, blood flow.
So in spite of all temptation, such a theme I'll not discuss, and on no consideration would I kiss you fondly thus. Would I kiss you fondly? Let me make it clear to you, this is what I'll never do. This, oh this, oh this, oh this, this is what I'll never, never do. This, oh this, oh this, oh this, this is what I'll never do. I'll never do. Oh this, this. Is what I'll never, never do.
last. I knew it would come sooner or later. It seems Sheriff Meek is struck by the fact that no executions have taken place in Japan. He says that unless someone is beheaded within 1 month, the job of executioner will be downsized, and our taxes doubled.
Well, that's not fair. He doesn't need any more money.
There's no choice. I must execute someone at once. The only question is who?
Well, since you're already under sentence of death for flirting, everything seems to point to you.
To me? What are you talking about? I can't execute myself.
Well, why not?
Why not? In the first place, self-decapitation is an extremely dangerous, not to say difficult thing to attempt. And in the second place, it is suicide. And suicide is a capital offense.
That's true.
Well, we might make an exception.
Besides, I don't see how anyone could cut off his own head.
Well, a man might try.
Well, even if you succeeded in cutting it half off, that would be something.
It would be taken as a sign of your desire to comply with the sheriff's will.
No. As official headsman, my reputation is at stake. And I cannot carry out a professional operation unless I can see that it would have a successful result.
Well, we admire your professionalism, but it puts us in a very awkward position.
Your awkwardness, sir, is grace itself compared to that of a man trying to cut off his own head.
Well, unless you can find a substitute and do
A
it
substitute? Yes, that's easy. Poor Bob, I appoint you official substitute.
I'd be delighted. Oh, with every job I accept, my family pride swells a little bit more. No, I made a New Year's resolution not to accept any more titles. I am so proud if I allowed my family pride to be my guide. I'd volunteer to quit this sphere instead of you in a minute or two. But family pride must be denied and set aside, not mortified, not mortified.
My brain it teems with endless schemes, quick and astute. A substitute. But if I fail, I wait in jail. Brings dreadful news, my head I lose. Now every man in old Japan must plot and plan as best he can.
I heard one day a gentleman say the criminals who are cut in two can hardly feel the fate to steal and so a sling without one string. If this is true, it's lucky for you. Be happy to goodbye to you.
And so, although I'm ready to go, yet recollect my disrespect, my head bisect, and I could not this task perfect. So I object.
And so, although I wish to go, and greatly kind to brightly shine, to take the line of a hero fine and old lang syne, I must decline.
And go and show a friend and foe how much you dare. I'm quite aware it's your affair, yet I declare I take your share, but I don't much care.
I must decline.
Silence in a dark, in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock, or a cheap and chicken chopper on a big black block. To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock, in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock, from a cheap and chicken chopper on a big black block. A dull, dark dock, a lifelong lock, a short, sharp shock, a big black block. To sit in solemn silence in a pestilential prison, awaiting the sensation of a cheap and chippy chopper on a big black block. Hey!
This is appalling. Now I am required to die in a month. And this demanded by a man I serve with honor. Where is the gratitude? Where is the...
Oh, don't mind me.
What are you going to do with that rope?
I'm going to terminate my existence.
Terminate your existence? Don't be ridiculous. Why?
Because you are about to marry the girl I love.
I will not allow it.
Well, if you raise your voice, I'll instantly perform the trick with this hunting knife.
No, and this is horrible. Are you aware that in taking your life, you are committing a crime? A crime which is a substitute. A substitute!
What is the matter?
Are you sure you want to die?
Absolutely.
Nothing could change your mind.
Nothing.
Then do not degrade yourself by committing suicide, but be beheaded handsomely at the hands of the public executioner.
I do not see how that would benefit me.
You don't? Picture this. You'll have a month to live, and you'll live like a fighting cock at my expense. And when the day comes, there'll be a grand public ceremony. You will be the central figure. No one will attempt to deprive you of that distinction. There'll be a procession, bands, a death march, bells tolling, all the girls in tears, Yum Yum distraught. And then afterwards, general rejoicing and a display of fireworks in the evening. You won't see them, but they'll be there.
Do you really think Yum Yum would be distraught at my death?
Oh, I am convinced of it. She's the most tender-hearted girl alive.
Then I can't allow it. Here's how we'll manage it. Let me marry Yum Yum tomorrow, and in a month you can behead me.
No, I draw the line at Yum Yum.
Well, if you can draw the line, so can I.
Wait, listen, be reasonable. How can I agree to your marrying Yum Yum if I am to marry her myself?
She'll be a widow in a month. You can marry her then.
I see that, of course, but my position during that month will be unpleasant. Very unpleasant.
Not half as unpleasant as mine at the end of it.
All right, Henry. We
We're
have a
friendly
deal.
now. Call me Hank. Hanky Poo.
All right, Hanky Poo. Besides, it's only postponing my wedding for 1 month. But promise me, you will not turn her against me. She has been trained to think of me as a wise and good man.
Trust me, I'll never tell her the truth.
To ask you what you mean to do, we punctually appear.
Congratulate me, gentlemen, I found a volunteer.
A volunteer, oh here, here, here.
Since Hanky Poo,
Thanks, Hanky Poo.
I think he'll do.
Yes, yes, he'll do.
He gives his life if I'll Yum Yum surrender. Now I adore that girl with passion tender, and could not yield her with a ready will. No, I could not, if I did not adore myself with passion tenderer still, with passion tenderer still.
Oh yes, he loves himself with passion tenderer still.
Take her, she's yours.
The threatened cloud has passed away. And though the night may come too soon,
Then let the throng of joy advance with laughing song and merry dance. And let the throng of joy advance with laughing song and merry dance. With laughing song and merry dance. With laughing song. With joyous shout and ring cheer. Inaugurate the great parade. Joyous shout and ring cheer.
I claim this handsome stranger, Hanky-Poo.
Oh, it's Keisha. She's got good aim and a claim on you, I told you.
No, you will not go. These arms will now enfold you. Oh, let me show you those earthly joys. Oh, let me help you forget your boys. Wild youth, you don't know love's true power. Child truth will come yet in this late hour. Your heart you'll find, oh fool, oh blind. Give me my place, my soul embrace. Your heart you'll find, oh fool, oh blind. Give me my place, my soul embrace. Give me my place, my soul embrace.
If she's thy bride, restore her place. O fool, O blind, her soul embrace.
Pink cheek that glows now when lies you hear, bright eye that sees now through his veneer, rose lips with words you can't preserve, smooth tongue, his heart you don't deserve. Your doom is nigh, pink cheek, bright eye. Your bell is rung, rose lip, smooth tongue. Your doom is nigh, your bell is rung, pink cheek, bright eye, rose lip, smooth tongue. Your doom is nigh, your bell is rung.
It's true, her tale, your bell is rung. In cheek, bright eye, rose lips, smooth tongue.
Your doom is nigh, your bell is rung, your bell, your the others for the ceremony. Why, you're glowing more than Nellie when she took up with our sheriff. Glowing? I never thought much about it, but I will try to shine with the confidence of nature. Up in the sky I can't deny the moon's celestial highness. There's not a trace upon her face of modesty or shyness. She borrows flags that throw a light that can't be all acclaim her. And truth to tell, she likes so well, so I for one don't blame her. I pray make no mistake, we are not shy. We're very wide awake, the moon and I. I pray make no mistake, we are not shy. We're very wide awake, the moon and I. The sun whose rays are all ablaze with ever-living glory does not deny his majesty, he burns to tell a story. Through every age he lights the stage that we on earth might marry. As time grows old in fiery gold, his faithful does not vary. I mean to rule the earth as he the sky. We really know the sun and I mean to rule the earth as he the sky. We really know our worth, the sun and I. Everything seems to smile on me. There I'm to be married to the man I love. Oh, I'm so lucky. I believe I'm the happiest girl in Japan.
Well, dear, you can't deny that your husband is to be beheaded in a month. It's a bit of a drawback.
It does seem to take the edge off it, doesn't it, Ginger?
Oh, I don't know. It all depends, really. What do you think, Marianne?
Well, I'm sure he's going to view it as a drawback.
I think it is cruel of me to bring this up on such a happy day. If my marriage is to be
Cut short.
yes, cut short in a month. Oh, well then can't you let me forget it for just today? Oh, thank you. I knew you'd understand.
Look, the Gaslin brothers are here to sing a madrigal that Henry wrote for the celebration.
Brightly dawns our wedding day, joyous are we, give you even though you're awfully big, go home and fill your stay.
Till the sun down appears, oh please to stay here.
to be beheaded.
Yes, we've been reminding her that you're to be beheaded.
It's true, you know, in a month you are to be beheaded.
A month? Well, what's a month? I mean, these divisions of time are purely arbitrary. Who says 24 hours make a day?
Well, that's the world's opinion.
Then we'll change it. We'll call each second a minute, each minute an hour, each hour a day, and each day a year. At that rate, we've 30 years of married happiness ahead of us.
At that rate, this discussion's going on 4 hours and 3/4.
Yes. How time flies when you're enjoying yourself.
That's the way to think about it. Let's not be sad. There's a silver lining behind every dark cloud.
You're right. Let's be perfectly happy.
Square dance time! Time to cut up the rug!
Now, we just did the two-step.
Well, yeah, we got to do it before the ceremony. Otherwise, it's 10 years bad luck. Dunce, he's gonna die in a month.
Could you give us a minute?
Yeah?
I'll give you a signal when we're ready.
Okay.
Let's see, where were we?
Don't mind me.
Oh, are we depressing you?
I must get used to it. Only please, one step at a time. Begin by putting your arm around her waist. There. Let me get used to that first.
Wouldn't you rather leave us alone? It must pain you to see us so affectionate together.
I must learn to bear it. Now allow her head to fall on your shoulder. Thank you. Now kiss her. No, it is simple torture.
It's only for a month.
No use fooling myself with false hopes.
What do you mean?
My child, my poor child, my bride that was to have been.
Was to have been?
It's true, you can never be mine.
Oh, I'm so glad.
What?
Yes, I've just discovered that by Mikado's law, when a married man is beheaded, his wife is buried alive.
Buried alive?
Yes, buried alive. It is a most unpleasant death.
Who told you that?
For Bob, he is my personal assistant.
Then he may have been mistaken.
That's what I thought. So I asked the Chief Justice, the Commander-in-Chief, and I asked the Courthouse and the priest. It was unanimous. I've never seen such agreement on a law in my life.
I'm sure this law has never been carried out.
Not yet. You see, flirting is the only crime punishable by decapitation. And married men never flirt.
Of course they don't. I'd forgotten that.
Henry, I don't want to appear selfish. And I love you with all my heart. I don't think I'll ever love anyone half as much, but when I agreed to marry you, I had no idea that I'd have to be buried alive in a month.
Well, it's the first I've heard of
Well,
it.
it does make a difference, doesn't it?
It makes a difference. It's a catch-22.
A what?
Either way you lose, a catch-22?
Well, I call it a pretty state of things.
To me, it's just a howdy-do.
Ah,
Fiddlesticks!
That's our signal! Let's dance!
Here's how we do, if I marry you. When your dream has come to perish, then the fate whom you cherish must be slaughtered too. Here's a howdy do, here's a howdy do.
Here's a pretty mess, in a month or less. I must die without your wedding. Let the bitter tears I'm shedding witness my distress. Here's a pretty mess, here's a pretty mess.
Here's the state that leads to her life she cleaves. Matrimonial devotion doesn't seem to suit her notion. Burial it brings. Here's the state of things. Here's the state of things. Without passion that's intense, I worship and adore. But the laws of common sense we ought to ignore. If what he says is true, 'tis death to marry you. Here's the pretty state of things. Here's the pretty howdy do. Here's the pretty state of things. A pretty state of things.
Here's a howdy do.
Here's a howdy. Here's a howdy do. What it says is true. I cannot marry you. Here's how pretty Mikado, I really am sorry for you.
Thanks, I'm sure you are.
But you can see I'm quite helpless.
I see that.
I can't think of anything more upsetting than to have a wedding canceled at the last minute. But you can still come to a wedding. You can come to mine.
That's very kind of you, but impossible.
But why?
Today I die.
What do you mean?
I can't bear to live life without Yum Yum, so this afternoon I'll end it all.
I will not allow it.
Why not?
Why? You are under contract to die at the hands of the executioner in a month. If you kill yourself, what will happen to me? My God, I'll be executed in your place.
You're probably right.
Why, Mr. Mayor, what is it?
Mikado's coming, and he'll be at the Sitting Bull Saloon in 10 minutes.
The Mikado?
Where's he coming from?
Oh, he's been shacked up with Nellie on the other side of town for years. No one dares go near his house.
He's coming to check on whether his orders have been carried out. Now listen, this is getting serious, and you really frustrate justice by committing suicide. As a gentleman and a man of honor, you are bound to die at the hands of the public executioner.
Very well then, behead me.
What, now?
Yes, at once.
Chop it off, chop it off.
Now look, I don't go around prepared to execute someone at a moment's notice. Why, I have not even killed a rattlesnake.
But still, as executioner.
As executioner, I'm required to behead him in 1 month. I'm not ready yet. I don't know how it's done. I was going to take lessons. I was going to begin with a mosquito and work my way through the animal kingdom until I came to a year of 10. Do you think, as a humane man, I would have ever taken on the post of executioner if I thought I'd have to act as one? I can't kill you. I can't kill anything. I can't kill anybody.
Oh, now listen. We all have unpleasant jobs at times, but if I don't mind, why should you? I mean, sooner or later, it must be done.
Must it? I'm not so sure. Why do I have to kill you? If making an affidavit that you've been executed will do just as well. There'll be plenty of witnesses. The Chief Justice, the Commander-in-Chief, the Priest of all Japan, the Lord High Treasury, and they'll all swear by it, won't you? Oh, you'll be taken care of as usual.
Well then, tell your story and I'll stand by it.
But I tell you that life without Yum Yum...
Yum Yum, Yum Yum. Oh, bother Yum Yum. Poor Bob, will you go fetch Yum Yum? Now listen, take Yum Yum and marry Yum Yum. But then, stay hidden from Mikado.
Here she is.
Yum Yum, are you busy?
Not particularly.
Have you got 5 minutes to spare?
Yes, I think so.
Good. Then go along with the magistrate. He will marry you and Hank at once.
But if I have to be buried alive...
Do not ask any questions. Just do as I say. And Hank Kipu will explain it all. Oh, but Hank, did you finish writing that song I asked you for?
The one to welcome the sheriff?
Yes.
Here it is.
Now run. And remember to hide. If Mikado sees you alive, I'll have a hell of a time convincing him I beheaded you. Everybody, I know you did not have enough time to practice, but do the best you can. Ready? And...
Mia-sama, ona mano maya ni, pira surun no wananyana. Toko tonya re na.
Ready?
when I say that we are so glad to have you with us, Sheriff.
Well, you know what I'm here for.
Well, I know if you're here, it must be for good reason. You're the kindest sheriff we ever had.
I'm the kindest sheriff. A more humane Mikado never did in Japan exist. But in a quick second you probably reckon I rule with hard fists. It is my very sincere endeavor each law be relevant. Each evildoer gets something newer to match his bad intent. My object is sublime, I will achieve in time. I'll make the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime. And with each prisoner's soul, I practice self-control. But with these talking crimes, you see, I play a leading role. Now crime number 10, you've been told now and then, is not closing the outhouse door. You'll be taken by guard to the sunniest yard and then standing from 10 to 4. Number 9 is for the preacher, let them be your teacher, so when sleeping in church never snore. Each day for a week your poor back will be weak from assisting his wife with each chore. The 8th is for theft at the general store, you'll sweep it each week for score. Lucky 7's for laughing out loud at a wake. You'll carry coffins till you ache. And next is 6, the oldest of tricks, passing money that's counterfeit. You'll lick all the dirt from the bills till you hurt. To new those you will submit. My object is sublime, I will achieve in time. I'll make the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime. And with each prisoner's soul, you'll practice self-control. And with these taunting crimes you see, he plays a leading role. Number 5 on my list will be met with a fist when in front of a gal you curse. Your word don't mean jack when your head gets a whack, and you probably need a nurse. Though you may have some tickets and steal neighbors' chickens, that's number 4, of course. You'll squawk like a bird when the lash then is heard, pounding on your back with a force. If cheating at poker you won't look so chic, you'll be branded a fiery on each cheek. Then 2 is for not paying your bar bill. You better start making your will. And we're almost done. Now old number 1, to flirt will bore my pot. We'll bury you quick before we get sick. Your head in a separate plot. My object is sublime, I will achieve in time. I'll make the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime. And with each prisoner's soul, I practice self-control. But with these talking crimes, you see, I play a leading role. And with each prisoner's soul, you'll practice self-control. And with these talking crimes, you see, he plays a leading role. Now then, Kitty Shaw here tells me that you all have not been at...
Let me publicly welcome you, Sheriff, back to the Sitting Bull Saloon. And you will be pleased to know that the reason for your visit, to check on your immediate wish, has been carried out. An execution has taken place.
An execution? No. He's here because I told him.
An execution has taken place?
Yes.
You will have to wait. An execution has taken place. Really? 0?
0.
Oh, whatever.
The coroner has just handed me the death certificate.
Oh, yes, I am the coroner.
And this is the certificate of death? In the presence of the Chancellor, Chief Justice, Major, and Priest.
They were all there, sir. I counted them myself.
Looks like you had a full house. Oh, I wish I'd been in time for the performance.
A tall fellow he was. It was truly a remarkable scene.
Good. Describe.
describe it?
Go on.
Well,
Well, it was more than simple flirting, Sheriff.
I was the one you see, sir. My memory's not of her, sir. Though I was just a silly little maid. He tipped his hat for me, then dropped his drawers before me. I sent him to the stockade. Oh, the criminal cried, his head tumbled, then he died. That judgment was his law. And while he sent his soul to glory, we're here to tell his story. No one's above the law.
Oh, the criminal cried, his head tumbled, then he died. That judgment was his law. And while he sent his soul to glory, we're here to tell his story. No one's above the law.
Well, what happened next?
Come on.
Here's what you told us, Bridget. But that's only part of the story. That night when work was over, I walked home across the clover. I happened to pass by his cell. His hands reached out for paradise. You know he's gonna pay the price. I rang the jailhouse bell. Oh, the criminal cried, his head tumbled, then he died. That judgment was his law. And while we sent his soul to glory, we're here to tell his story. No one's above the law.
Criminal cried,
Oh, the criminal cried.
tumbled and died.
And he died. That judgment was the law.
Criminal cried, his head tumbled, then he died. That judgment was his law. And while he sent his soul to glory, we're here to tell his story. No one's above the law.
Well, and then?
Let's bring this to conclusion. There won't be no confusion. I saw him in his final hour. When he reached to pull my trigger, I said, fetch the old grave digger. I'm not here to define. Oh, the That is the whole story. Can we now get on?
Yes, yes. Just let me finish this reading this here that certificate. Now let's see. In the presence of the Chancellor, Chief Justice, Major, and Priest, the following was beheaded for the crime of flirting. You idiot! Do you know what you've done?
I just did a little chippy choppy like you requested.
Fool! You've done much more than that! When I became sheriff, I set down the law. I kept you all far away from my Nellie as I could.
Well, that's for sure. We haven't seen her in years.
That's because she left this town a few months after I took over.
What? Left it? Well, how could she leave it? There weren't any horses.
There was one. She kept it hidden in my barn. Then, the night she rode away on it, she left me this note on her pillow. Mickey, I have to leave Japan. I'm carrying your child and don't want to disgrace you. Forgive me. One day when I'm gone, our baby will return to you. Your child will have half the silver locket around its neck to match the other half left in this note. That way you will know it is really our baby. But don't be sad, as they say. The sun will come out tomorrow.
Oh my goodness!
But that doesn't explain why you're so upset about the execution.
That's right. We followed your laws to the T.
The name on that there death certificate is Hank Kipu. Kipu was Nellie's mother's maiden name. You've killed my son!
You beheaded Hanky Poo this morning? Zero, I'm gonna kill you.
No, wait a minute. There must be a reasonable solution. I beg to offer you an unqualified apology.
I second that emotion.
I'm sorry I started this whole thing.
Now look, don't be upset. It wasn't your fault. If my son broke law after law, he got what he deserved.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, sir.
Thank me? Oh, don't mention it. How could you tell?
Sure. How could we know who the man really was?
It wasn't written on his forehead.
I forget the punishment for killing the son of a sheriff.
Punishment?
Oh, yeah. Something lingering with tar and feathers, I think. Something like that. I'm thinking boiling oil, too. But I'm not sure. Listen, don't worry. I'm not a bit angry.
We really had no idea. It was a mistake.
Now, that's the sad part of it. Unfortunately, that silly law about killing the son of a sheriff says nothing about a mistake.
No.
No. It should, of course.
Yes.
But it doesn't.
Oh.
But it'll be all right. I'll change it next month. Now, about your execution. Would after lunch be all right? Can you wait till then?
Yes. We can wait till then.
Then we'll make it after lunch.
But we're not hungry.
We've lied to Mikado and Kitty Shaw, and we're going to die because of that lie.
If he finds out you didn't kill anyone, you'll have to execute yourself anyway.
Never mind that now. There's only one thing that can do. Hanky Poo must come back to life. Here he comes. Henry, we've got good news, for you're about to be resurrected.
Oh, but it's too late. I'm a dead man, and I'm on my honeymoon.
Nonsense. We've just discovered something shocking. It seems you are Mikado's long-lost son.
Is this part of my destiny?
Destiny schmestiny. Your father is here, and he has Kitty Shaw with him.
My father and Kitty?
She'll be glad you're alive for sure.
But he's married now, and in love.
What's love got to do with it?
Kitty claims me in marriage, but I can't marry Kitty because I'm already married. And so Kitty will insist on my execution, and when I'm executed, my wife will be buried alive.
Do you understand our problem?
Yes, but I don't know what to do about it.
I've got an idea. You convince Kitty to marry you, and then she has no further claim on me. And then I can come back to life, and you won't be put to death for killing me.
Me marry Kitty Shaw? But she's got issues.
I think it's really the only way out.
And I'll still have to execute myself.
Well, I'm sure you'll come up with a solution for that minor glitch. And when you do, you'll be as happy as Yum Yum and I.
Me? And Kitty?
Uh-huh. The flowers that bloom in the spring, tra-la, bring promise and days of sunshine. A solution to things troubling, tra-la, will appear when you give her a ring. Tra-la, then have summers of roses and wine. Then have summers of roses and wine.
And that's what we mean when we say and we sing.
Just come smell the flowers that bloom in the spring. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, the flowers that bloom in the spring.
Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la-la.
The flowers that bloom in the spring, tra-la, have nothing to do with the case. I've got to take under my wing, tra-la, a most uncontrollable thing, tra-la, that I somehow must learn to embrace, that I somehow must learn to embrace. If that's what we need for a happy ending. Well, show me the flowers that bloom in the spring.
Tra-la-la-la-la,
tra-la-la-la-la,
the flowers that bloom in the spring.
Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la-la.
Here
true he did not love me back, but he would have in time.
I'm sure he would. But I love you now. What? Actually, I've loved you for years.
But how could you?
Kitty Shaw, I burn with a white-hot passion that is slowly overtaking my entire body. My desire for you is broiling my soul.
Wow.
But that flame cannot be smothered.
It can't?
It burns despite my attempts to extinguish it.
But you killed my Henry.
He was never yours, but I could be. Do not turn away from me, or I will die here on the spot.
Believe me, no one ever really dies of a broken heart.
You've just never heard before. Listen. On a tree by a river, a little tomtit sang. And I said to that dicky bird, why do you sit singing? Is it weakness of intellect, birdie, I cried, or rather tough worm in your little inside? With a shake of his poor little head, he replied, "Oh, willow, did willow, did willow." Slapped at his chest as he sat on his bough, singing, "Willow, did willow, did willow." And a cold perspiration bespangled his brow, singing, "Willow, did willow, did willow." And he sulked and he sighed, and a gurgle he gave. Then he plunged himself into the billowy wave. And an echo arose from his sad, wet grave. I feel just as sure as I'm sure that my name is Willow, Titwillow, Titwillow. It was rejected affection that made him exclaim, "Oh, willow, titwillow, titwillow." And if you remain cold and callous, then I shall perish as he did, and you will know why. Though I probably shall not exclaim as I die, "Oh, willow, titwillow, titwillow."
Die of love?
All on account of a cruel little hen.
It's a sad story.
And a true one. I knew the bird personally.
And if I refuse you, will you go and do the same?
I will at once, Miss Kitty.
No, you can't. You can't. If I can't have Henry, well, you'll do just fine.
That's a comforting thought.
You brought that back. Well, we had a wonderful lunch, and now we're ready for the entertainment.
Now we're all prepared.
Then go get Zero and his accomplices, boy, and as I say, on with the show.
Sheriff, before we begin, I would just like to close the door on why I brought you here today. Your son Henry was to have been my husband, but since he's dead, I have gone and married his executioner.
Now, that's what you call a real shotgun wedding.
We were just married by the magistrate.
I'm the magistrate. That doesn't change the fact that you killed the son of the sheriff.
Your son's not dead, Father. I'm alive.
Oh,
my son!
And your daughter-in-law elected.
Wait a minute. How do I know you're really my son? Maybe this is another one of Zero's schemes.
Well, would this do any good?
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Sorry.
Zero, you lied to me!
Wait, you are an oath and explanation. Sheriff, it is true how we described how we killed Hanky Poo.
Yeah, in a rousing number.
But you see, it's like this. When you say this must be done, why, it's as good as done. Practically it is done, because your will is supreme. So when you say execute a criminal, a man is marched off and he is as good as dead. Practically he is dead. And if he is dead, can't we just say so?
Well, your respect for myself and my laws has just saved your neck. Long live the executioner!
Poor is gone and married no. Yum, yum. Your anger plays burning me blood in a hurry. I think you had better succumb. Come. Join our expression.
On this subject, I hope you'll be mum. Though Henry is younger, you'll never know hunger. His nature could never become. You are much better equal in me.
On this subject, we pray you be mum. We think you had better succumb. We'll all find someone I knew love, and maybe she could be my true love. There are lots of good fish in the sea. There are lots of good fish in the sea. There's lots of good fish in the sea. There's lots of good fish in the sea, in the sea, in the sea, in the sea, in the sea.
The printed cloud has passed away, and though the night may come too soon,
then let the throng of joy advance with laughing song and merry dance. And let the throng of joy advance with laughing song and merry dance. With laughing song and merry dance. With laughing song. With joyous shout, and ringing cheer. Inaugurate their new career with joyous shout and ringing cheer. Inaugurate their new career with joyous shout and ringing cheer. Inaugurate their new career with laughing song and merry dance. With laughing song and merry dance. With song and dance.
Thank you.